All right, Travis, 4 drivers were eliminated after Bristol, 12 remain. Let's look at the field going into Kansas, the round of 12 here.
I think the key thing is we talked about how there's a couple guys we didn't expect to get out. The question is going to be how this resets, because you got a guy like Cindric who ends this round 36 to the good because he had such a great round, but now he's 4 out.
Yeah, you see Joey Logano feeling good after that win at Atlanta. He's back to only +4. You know, you've got guys like Austin Cindric and Daniel Suarez who had great first rounds, the first 2 races for sure, that are now under the cut line. Chase Briscoe squeaked his way in with a great run at Watkins Glen and Bristol, now back to -7. And old Denny Hamlin here. We talked about how many points he scored early, and he's been out for a while. Denny is only +7 going into the next round.
It's amazing to me how tight all these guys are. I think all these guys have a lot of playoff points that you probably didn't expect, because you see a guy like Larson up there, 39 to good, Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, but from William Byron being only 14 in all the way back, it's super close. And I'm good friends with the engineer on the 24, and I was talking to him. I was like, oh, how good are you now that the reset? He's like, oh, we're only 14 in. I'm like, you won 3 races and some stages. You should have way more, but there's so many bonus points, including Joey, who got more bonus points in the last round, which is what's changed some of the shakeup now.
Yeah, the one thing when looking at this is interesting is we have a road course in this round. We have another super speedway in this round. And then we have a 1.5 mile, one of the smoothest 1.5 miles we go to, that a lot of these guys up towards the front dominate at. You know, the Denny Hamlins, the Kyle Larson won in the spring. Those guys run really well there. So it's a chance for them to separate themselves more, hopefully, for their sake, until you come to Talladega, and then you go to Charlotte for the Roval. Places where I am positive Alex Bowman runs great at. Daniel Suarez is a good road racer. Austin Cindric is a great road racer. Those guys are looking forward to the Roval, and maybe Kansas is the other side of the board, so hoping they can separate that gap a little more.
Yeah, like you said, we just joked ending the chaos round, but honestly, it's just the chaos round in reverse. We got a very boring race that was dominated by a great driver at Bristol.
Yeah.
You're probably going to see that at Kansas. That's what's happened all year long.
Yep.
And instead, these guys who had their huge first 2 races of the last round and kind of got, oh, wow, I'm in a great spot, now they have to wait a couple weeks to get there, and the guys on the left side of the board can hopefully pad their lead so they can go into the next 2 and not be so stressed.
One thing that's happened in the history of Kansas is the first race, fairly calm. The second race, there's a lot of accidents that happen at Kansas that can take you out of contention. You'll be 3, 4, 5 wide on restarts trying to jockey for position, and a lot of these guys could end up in a mess, not of their doing, and really put themselves in hurt going to Talladega next week.
So we kind of joked about this before, but do you think the start-finish line is going to be straight? You think that'll have any impact on the end of this next one at Kansas?
Yes, the Kansas in the spring, for all the fans that don't remember, it was the closest finish in NASCAR history between Chris Buescher, who thought he won the race, team celebrating on pit road. Everybody by the eye as they crossed thought the 17 probably won until they slowed it down and really looked and saw the 5 beating by the narrowest of margins. You had to go to the photo finish to see Kyle Larson just squeak by.